Good. Oh, the throat went on that one. Morning, Keller Williams.
Morning, Keller Williams. Oh, I've got the microphone here. Need to put the sound up. There we go. Got some sound. We've got some sound. We've got the equipment. So again, we're in our temporary location, which is my storage cum spare room, and we are here maybe one more week after this, maybe not, because Brett's building a brand new studio, which you should be doing. You should be doing a YouTube on building the studio.
I should. I've been taking pictures along the way, but so I know from doing it in the past, if I try to record video while I'm working, the project takes about 10 times longer than it should. But I have been taking photos and stuff, so yes, I can put together like a slideshow type video. But I'm on a deadline to get my stuff moved out of my office and get the new space working for us. Got most of the windows and the wall done. From the windows to the walls. Okay,
yeah, sounds good.
So I got to do the ceiling rafters because it's an old Florida room and the ceiling is just the bottom decking of the roof.
Right. So is it a flat roof?
No, it's actually sloped. But it doesn't. It does have exposed beams, which is awesome though. So I'm using that mineral wool insulation, which is also soundproofing.
You gotta watch that on your chest.
Yes, it's itchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's itchy. But anyway, once we're done, it should be a pretty cool spot. I got all kinds of LEDs and lighting to go around. So you know how I do it. You know how my old lair was at the office. So
it looked really good before the hurricane destroyed the studio that you had. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. So we're talking about open houses we're piggybacking off of our Take Command of open houses this week, which our South Florida region, through our regional tech trainer, Ryan Yarbrough, we do this Take Command on the last Tuesday of every month, and it's where we are able to reach out to agents and leadership on a similar platform to this, really. In fact, we've started using StreamYard for that because I feel, and Ryan does too, and I think a lot of the viewers feel that it's a better user experience. People are kind of zoomed out. So piggybacking off of that, we are going to show you how to incorporate what we did in one of those sessions, which was the open house sign-in sheet on your website, right?
Yeah. So the benefit of this is when a customer arrives, you can either direct them to a link on their cell phone. So you can buy yourself a domain name, something like openhousesignin.com. Not that you'd get that, but something very similar.
Yeah.
Then that goes to your Keller Williams site where they can put their name, their email, and their phone number, and maybe something else in that form as well. We'll have a look. And that will then automatically create a contact in command, and you can even start a smart plan so that you're then following up with the open house attendees. The good thing about it as well is you'll know whether they're giving you good information because that's going to come through right away as well. So it's more secure than using a form because the form, people are against that because they can see other people on the form. A lot of sign-in sheets, people don't like putting their info on it. And people just don't generally like writing down their info on a piece of paper, it could get lost.
Sure.
So I think using a secure website, such as the KW site, is going to give them some more confidence to complete that form and do it accurately. So
those are all great points that actually didn't come up in the Take Command session, but yeah, those are fantastic points. Yeah, I never really even gave thought to the security issue, but it totally makes sense.
Yeah, just with ID theft and all that nowadays, you arrive at an open house, you've never met the agent before, they know nothing about you, you know nothing about them, and they go, "Hey, what's all your personal information, please?"
Yeah,
I'm likely to go Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, exactly.
321-555-5555, like everybody does. So this is a way of getting around that. Right. So today our culture moment. Are we ready for our culture moment?
We
Brett?
are always ready for our culture moment, Peter.
So who's this lady?
That is the lovely Mo Anderson, who pretty much is the whole foundation of our culture and really focused on the culture of Keller Williams. And she is an absolutely beautiful, amazing, dynamic, intelligent, just amazing woman. And so happy that I got to meet her a couple of times.
She certainly is. I've not had the chance, but I've seen her content. I guess you'd call it that nowadays. She makes content.
Yeah.
But I've seen her talking, and yeah, she's an impressive lady. And the thing is, what we have at Keller Williams, which a lot of people, they use this horrible word, our competitors, Kool-Aid.
Yes.
They
I
use
know.
the Kool-Aid word. Well, what they don't realize is it isn't. It's actually essentially a Christian-based ethos that
Yeah.
allows us to put our God first, family, and then business, and in that order.
Yeah.
And it's certainly nothing to do with Kool-Aid. But
No,
that's what
it's
they're
not. And you know what? We actually have agents within the company that are very turned off by the Kool-Aid reference because it's actually a reference to Jonestown,
Oh, no, it's
which
terrible.
was a horrible
saying.
experience.
It's the worst thing. But this is what
Yeah.
our competitors, because some of them are lacking class, use that terrible phrase, which does have those the trope, around
Yeah.
it, the connotations.
Yeah.
But it's very unpleasant. But we have a very, very strong culture, which is an amazing benefit because it allows us to have a uniform frame of mind when working with each other. And if somebody's out of culture, we can call them out on it.
Yeah.
We can say,
Yeah.
hey, listen, we're trying to do this project and the way you're approaching it isn't kind of the way we like to do things together. How can we understand what you feel about that and how to understand the other person's point of view and then help them to become more in line with the culture leads to greater productivity.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, I fall out of culture constantly. I've got a grumpy person head on most of the time.
If it wasn't for our culture, you wouldn't be in a good mood. Is that what you're saying?
It's hard to seek first to understand. I'm like,
It is.
This sucks.
Yeah.
This sucks,
Well,
this
it's
sucks.
funny you say that so that's communication, seek first to understand, which is one of
Yeah.
my favorite of the Y4C2Ts. You brought up the fact that competitors make fun and call it, the Kool-Aid. But I would say that that's because they are jealous of what we have and they often try to duplicate it and they never get there.
Oh yeah, we're very much emulated by a certain number of organisations, which is hilarious.
Yeah, and that's because they don't have a Mo.
No, they don't have a Mo. So we have our treasure in Mo Anderson.
Yeah.
Right, next slide.
So our perspective is where we're at in the culture moment this week on this episode, and it's part of our MVVBP. So this is perspective, and it's a technology company that provides the real estate platform that our agents, buyers, and sellers prefer. You want to take that next part?
So Keller Williams thinks like a top producer, acts like a trainer consultant, and focuses all its activities on service, productivity, and profitability.
Absolutely.
How cool is that?
So we are definitely a technology company, are we not?
Oh.
Proprietary technology, proprietary software that is absolutely amazing. And yes, we are, you and I specifically are quite aware of the challenges as we've gotten to this point, but where we are now is just absolutely amazing and where it's going. Because I don't think did we have the opportunity last week to tell everybody about your new status? That Peter is now a labs advisor with myself as well.
Yes,
that is awesome. So Peter and I are in the trenches, beta testing new parts of Command and giving feedback as agents and marketers. Really, I mean that's where you excel is marketing. So
And
you love that type.
And all of that with labs advisors, which what I can say about it is it's run within culture.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and very much so. I mean, like, I got health warnings at the beginning, like, if you want to survive this process, you want to stay, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, you've got to do this on time, that on time.
Well, even being nice to
and it's all good.
Being nice to the developers on the back end, right? Because sometimes people like us who are we don't necessarily have a degree in any technology whatsoever, but we're full on nerds. There's the phrase, "Oh, well, it's just this," or "It's so easy to do that." Well, we don't know because we're not the coder that's doing it.
Why can't you do this when X does that?
Right. So
yeah, we've got to seek first to understand before you make it.
Absolutely. So they keep us in culture and labs advisors as well. So
it's all good. So yes, we are a technology company. We do have great technology. It works. there was a period of time when things were challenging and didn't work sometimes and did work sometimes. We do get, like any technology. I mean, I use various CRMs because I have slightly different goals. Command I really like because we have the neighborhood nurture, and that sends out an amazing report with properties that are recommended to that prospect, and facts about days on market.
Yeah, the
dollar
market
per square
statistics
foot.
and everything. That's great.
Which we don't have that in the other CRM which I use, which is Follow Up Boss. But Follow Up Boss has a couple of things. So I kind of use different platforms for different reasons. Well, I'll tell you right now, Follow Up Boss has a status page because even they go wrong, right?
Yeah.
So it's not often and it's not regularly, but things sometimes glitch in all technologies, and especially integrations between two different corporations. So, like, for instance, the API that feeds from Facebook to various other platforms is constantly messing up because of Facebook. This weekend,
Right.
Meta ads worldwide went down for a whole day, more than a day.
So I'm glad you bring that up, because agents and leadership were all kind of frantic over the last few days because Facebook ads were down, and it was automatically thought to be a command issue, and then we find out that it was Meta.
Yeah.
It was the metaverse. The metaverse crashed.
The whole thing. I don't know what they did wrong, but somebody's going to get fired.
Yeah, probably.
It's not a good day today for whoever that was. So, yeah, they lost a day's revenue. But the thing is, that what actually happened, which we were all joking about, is what's the guy called who runs that?
Zuckerberg.
Yeah, Zuckerberg. He was charging us for ads that were not running.
Right.
And it's like, we want a refund, Zuck. We
Yeah.
need a refund.
No doubt.
We need the cash back button. So their advice was switch off your ads. Well, the thing is, that's if you got that message, fair enough. But
Right.
I never got that message until 12 hours into it. And I've been running these ads with an increasing cost per thousand and increasing cost per click. No leads whatsoever. And the money was going down it wasn't going down the drain. It was going directly into Mark Zuckerberg's pocket. So, because he wasn't having to provide anything for it. So they have said that they are going to do an adjustment to people's accounts.
Well,
and
that's
we
good.
should see some refunds, which will probably be 6 cents, because that's really the highest I've ever seen come back from them. So anyway, gripe. We'll go to our next slide. We've got the tech company there. I think we're now going to move on to our objective for the day, which is to learn how to create an open house electronic registration form and incorporate it into the KW Consumer website. So what that means is we're going to create a landing page that has a form which the customer fills out, and then the lead from that form goes directly into your command. Now, I have to say, before everyone tunes out, this is fairly simple.
Yes.
Fairly.
Yeah.
But it's not completely simple, because we're going to have to use two different services. One of them is Google Forms, which is completely free.
Yeah. If you're using your KW.com email, or if you have a Gmail account.
Yeah.
Right.
Everyone has a KW account, right?
Yeah, but not all of our agents use it. And that's the importance of our KW.com email, is that you get all of that Google Workspace, all of the Google apps for business and everything. You get that for free by using that email.
And I do believe it's unlimited storage for all your photographs and documents and files. And
yeah, absolutely.
it costs, it costs at least $12 a month for the basic service. And I know this is unlimited, so it's probably worth even more than that, just for the storage.
Yeah. So it's worth it if you just use it for that.
Yeah. So the benefits are going to save time collecting information by magically transferring it into command, and also immediately automate smart plan follow-up with those contacts. So putting it another way, we're going to have a form, they fill it in, and then they start to receive emails from you without you having to touch anything.
Yep.
Which is good. So the effort that's required to make this happen is worth it, because it's going to save so much time in the long run.
Yep, absolutely.
Right, so I think we're nearly at time. Oh, no, we're going to do 201. I'll let you talk about 201.
Okay, so, this is the one that we talk about together, because you like to emphasize how you get from 201 and beyond, right? So what this is, we're looking at the graph. Hopefully you've seen this before, and what it talks about with the 201 Plus Club initiative is agents who have 201 healthy contacts in their command database on a smart plan, which is typically either the biweekly neighborhood nurture or the monthly neighborhood nurture. And those aren't all that sophisticated. It's a very easy smart plan to do. It's already built in. It's just a couple clicks and you've got it. The agents that have that, the 201 healthy contacts on a smart plan, are seeing a GCI of 120 plus, and after that 201 plus, it just soars and takes off from there.
Yeah. So what we're saying is your database is a data bank. It can make
Absolutely.
money.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And when you're systematic and intentional about those contacts, and when we say intentional, we're talking about you don't just type in all lowercase for their name. Like you actually would put it in the way that you would write it in an old school letter or whatever, capitalize the first letter of the first and last name, right? I see so many times agents just kind of rush through it and they just all lowercase or all uppercase, whatever it is that they do, and they're just not real intentional and careful about that database. And you should be, because like Peter said, it's your data bank. Yeah. Your sphere of influence will provide the greatest longevity to your career. Not expireds, not FISBOs, none of that. It's the sphere of influence that you've created. Yes, you can do business from expireds and FISBOs, and if you're intentional about those contacts, they now become part of your sphere of influence in your past customer base, and they will provide the longevity to your career.
Yeah, your sphere is your foundation.
Yep.
And I've just seen an agent completely get this the other way around. Not going to go into detail about that particular agent, but just to comment that if you know 100 people and you get them into this database and then you regularly stay in touch, and it can be about Mother's Day and it can be about Father's Day, it can be all sorts of different things throughout the year, you are likely to receive referrals because you are staying top of mind with that group of people who already know you.
Right.
If you ignore them and just go for expireds, then you're going to miss out on half your income at least.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably more so. It's probably more 60 to 70% of your income.
Yeah. So even though, you know, we try and coach everybody that we come into contact with about the way to build your business, there's a few things I don't like that rub the wrong way. My pet hate right now is when people say you haven't earned the right to be creative.
No, you don't like that?
Oh my God. For a creative person, that's like choking your oxygen, right? So I get it. You know, what they mean is you've got to do the basics, the systems, the models, put them in place before you start adding your flair and personality to what you're doing.
Right.
I get it, right? I get it. But it still rubs me up the wrong way.
I get it as a creative myself, because I am a left-handed person, right? And we tend to be creative. But so that people understand where that comes from, it's not to try to stifle you. It comes from the Red Book, from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, and it just talks about the fact that you shouldn't reinvent the wheel. Follow the systems and models, use them as they've been prescribed and as they've been proven, and then you can be creative and start to adapt them more towards a specific business model that you're striving for.
Here's the big problem with it. Mm-hmm. Some people, me included, don't even run our lives that way. It's like I prefer to experiment and test and fail and learn from the experience of experimenting, testing, and fail than to adopting the prescribed way of living. So it's the nature of who you are. So the fact that this comment exists, it exists for people like me to say, just a second, just take some time, put the basics in play, and then you can play around with it and change the color of it just exactly how you want it to be. But what I see, and the reason I see this in agents is that I know it in myself.
Yeah.
The agents go, well, I'm not doing open houses. No, I'm a waste of time. I'm not door knocking. I'm not calling. I'm not doing it. I'm going to do this. And you go, well, that isn't going to work.
Right.
And it's not going to work because you're not doing all the other stuff that you should be doing. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you're going to learn the hard way. And we're just saving you time to say, look, do this first. And then when you've got that mastered, then you can start adding in those other topics. So how did we get onto this?
Well, that brought up a thought for me.
Yeah.
So Michael, who was the 22-year-old on Take Command.
Oh my God!
Oh, what an amazing! I mean, a 22-year-old. I even put in the comments like I want to go back to my 22-year-old self and kick myself in the rear end, because I was nowhere near as put together as this kid.
No, he was annoying. He was annoying.
because he's so
Yeah, he was
wise
annoying.
beyond his years,
No,
right?
it was irritating. It's like
Yeah, because you feel like you're almost listening to somebody of Gary's stature already, and he's only 22.
Well, the thing is, you have a perspective with age, right?
Right.
I know we're not, but we'll talk about 50 as sort of a good age. When you don't own 3 rental houses and you haven't invested in assets to appreciate and generate income, and you look back at the 20-year-old who's just starting to do it, and you think to yourself, why was I drinking back then? What the hell was I doing? I was just partying, getting a few deals, partying.
I was
some more,
DJing
going to
nightclubs and
gigs.
music
I did.
festivals.
My
and-
first job was working in a nightclub.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, I got to see every band that ever existed at the time. Not that I can remember much because the drinking part of the nightclub and the job. But yeah, I was in a very, very good spot for a 20-odd-year-old. But no one ever came to me and said, you know, if you do this now, 30 years from now, it's going to be an amazing result.
Right.
And then when I finally did get round to it, I was like 2005, and I did buy 2 rental properties, and guess what happened to them? They became 1/3 of the value.
Yeah.
The market
You bought
crashed.
them right before the crash, huh?
Yeah, well, 3 years before the crash.
Yeah.
So they appreciated for 3 years.
Yeah.
And then we woke up one morning and they said, everything you own is worthless. And you owe so much more that it's going to be... I mean, even if I'd have held those houses to today, they would only just be getting back to the values that they were in 2008. But I would have carried a very large mortgage.
Yeah.
You know, for it just wasn't worthwhile. So yeah, I have regrets.
But that's okay. We are going to talk about open houses. But what I
Misery.
wanted to say about Michael, right? before we both got jealous of where he is in life already.
Saint Michael.
What he said is he absolutely loves doing open houses. So it was asked if he door knocks the houses around. And he said no, because he absolutely despises door knocking. He understands that it works for people and it can even work to get more people to the open house. But he absolutely despises door knocking. So why would he take something that he despises, mix it with something that he loves, and thereby would end up hating what he loves? Right?
Yeah, but you know what? He really ought to be door knocking.
Well,
He really ought to.
so he'll get to a point
So-
where he can have a showing assistant or a buyer's agent
Yeah.
or somebody that can do that for him.
Because it isn't door knocking. What you're doing is you're informing the neighbours
Yeah.
that we're having an open house.
an announcement.
There may be some cars. It might be a little irritating. But I'm here. I'm going to be here for the whole open house. So if you get stuck, if someone parks in front of your driveway, please feel free to come round. I'll make sure that car's
Yeah.
moved. Do not inconvenience. By the way, we're going to be having some food. And I'm going to open up a half hour earlier for neighbours.
Right.
So if you'd like to come along, we'd love to meet and mingle.
Okay, so again, he's 22. So
He'll learn.
out of all that wisdom, that's the one little thing that he still needs to learn from.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's right. I'm going to tell the truth. I really like the guy. Very personable.
Yep.
Obviously, a great agent. He's definitely into systems and models, and he's cool on all that front. Slightly jealous of him for having that wisdom at that age, but I'm mature enough to put that to one side. But you've got a door knock, Michael.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You said it yourself that you need to do these things, and then you say I'm not going to do that thing. So a little contradiction.
Well,
there.
that leads to listings too,
Yes.
right?
Of
So
course.
yeah, if you are that face that provides that courtesy like you're talking about, and just warning them that there's going to be an
Well,
open house if
I'll-
anybody's blocking your
I'll give you
driveway,
an
that's great.
example. I'll give you an example. Seller leads, right? So we know we're going to do a whole session one of these days on seller leads because they are very, very different to buyer leads. But I know how to generate them, I know how to bring them in, and right. So the seller leads are coming in in a future event. But a certain agent who's very close to him, namely his wife, she got a really nice. Can I call her she?
Yeah.
Amanda got a really nice comment that she went to a house and door knocked it, and the seller said, "I really like your style."
Yeah.
You actually responded to my inquiry by coming to my house and saying, "Hey, what's up? How can I help?
Yeah.
This is what I do." So there's a great deal of power in it. Now, there's a big topic at the moment around. I don't know if you've seen this on YouTube with the coaches. There's a movement to ban door knocking.
Really?
Yeah, because they're afraid someone's going to get shot.
Yeah.
Right? Which,
Yeah.
you know, there is that risk.
Sure.
Let's face it. We're in America
Yeah.
and you just got a guy who's just, you know, senile or whatever and he's got a gun. And
Well,
he's a bit loose.
unfortunately, it just happened in the
Yeah,
news. Yeah.
exactly. So there's a risk in door knocking. So what we say is that you should always go in twos and, you know, watch out for each other and you've got to be careful. If someone's got a closed gate in their fence, in their driveway, do not open it. You know, they've got the
Right.
gate closed for a reason. I think we've got some scratching noises. That's a giant rat, if anybody can hear that noise.
It's Peter's little dog that hates me for some reason.
So what they're saying is don't, you know, if someone says no soliciting, right, and they've got the sign up, don't solicit.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
Just follow the rules. But there's definitely a place for it. But where there is most definitely a place is when somebody says, I want a CMA on my house, there's nothing wrong with going around and saying, hey, I'd like to book an appointment with you
Yep.
to take a look at your house. When's going to be convenient for you for me to pop round again?
Yeah.
Right? So
Yep.
there's definitely
Absolutely.
a place for it. Right, so it's time to demonstrate. Now, as I said, this open house form is simple, but a little complex to set up. So I'm going to do my very, very best to try and make this happen. So we're going to go to share screen, and then we're going to go to this one for now, because we're going to show you. I'm going to use a technique on you guys, which is we're going to tell you what we're going to tell you, then we're going to tell you it, and then
Yep.
we're going to tell you what we've told you.
That's right.
I've been on a training course.
Train the presenter tactics.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is the Google document, which is called forms.google.com. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Then it goes to Docs. So to get here, it's forms.google.com. That'll take you to creating a new form, which we're going to do in a second, but I'm just going to show you what the form looks like so that we can then build one together. This is open house registration. We're going to have the names, which we need to split into two fields because command works with a first and last name.
Right.
So we want to have first and last name in two boxes.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, because
we didn't see that in the form yesterday. It was just one line for the name, but I would
That
believe
won't
it'd be a
work.
lot easier this
Well,
way.
it won't work. So
Yeah.
what happens is the first and last name go into the first or last
Right,
name.
and then you got to clean up the database, and that's
Yeah.
more work.
So just set it twice. Your email address, phone number, you can have comments, and you have some nice graphics. So this would be what the welcome form looks like. Then if I go over the...
By the way, I
Yeah.
have to point out the Disney Open House font. I love it.
Well, it'll probably get us into some kind of trouble. And this is the form on the website. So we're going to show you how to do this. This is mobile responsive. It allows you to just hand over a cell phone and say sign in,
Yep.
or an iPad or something of that nature, and it makes it really, really simple. So starting with the form. Right, so open house registration. So we're going to start from the beginning, and I'm going to show you how to build this out. And then we're going to use a program called Zapier to connect it. And this all sounds terrifying. Don't leave. There's no need to switch off. We're going to show you in a simple, really easy way how to configure this. So we start with a new form. Click that button. Give the form a title, which you could call it anything you like, but we're going to call it Welcome to Open House. Then description is, please sign in. Great. You can then bold these and change the graphics, but I think they look fine just as they are. What I then did was I put a picture in by adding an image. And Google Images has lots of free images, and I just typed in open house.
Nice.
And
then these would be royalty free, so I don't have to worry about using them anywhere. Right?
Well, Google providing them for free. I do hope that the
you can sue Google if you get a cease and desist.
So I'm going to use the Disney looking one because I like it. And that then pops in there, and you can give it the image a title, whatever you'd like to do there. You don't need one. In fact, I wonder if you have to. Maybe you just have to put it. I'll just put welcome again. Welcome to our world. Right, question number 1.
So this is first name, right?
Please enter, and I use please.
I love that you do that. I noticed that when you
First
sent me
name.
this yesterday.
So we start with that. So we've got that. The short answer will be just a short answer, so that's what it is. But we want that to be a required
Yep, required field.
field. Then we go plus sign there to do another one. So, and you don't need the please now. Enter your last name.
And you can see that it defaults. Well, at first it defaulted to multiple choice.
Yeah.
But it seems to adjust as you. It's like reading what you're putting in there and realizing it's
Yeah.
short answer.
It's AI.
Right?
It's AI.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Ridiculous. Everything's getting crazy. You don't need a brain anymore. Just all you got to do is show up. Right. Enter your name, email address, and then finally phone number. Your phone number. There we go. Why can't I type when I'm thinking? Okay, so it's short answer. And that fundamentally is it. We want to put that to required.
Yep.
This one required.
And the red asterisk will let you know that you've made it required.
Yeah. Well, I think it will.
It didn't get email address. It didn't seem like. Yep, there you go. Why won't it? There you go. It's a Mac thing.
Yeah, we'll blame the Mac. Anyway, I think that's how we do it.
Yep.
Right, so that is the form. You could add a note or something else on there, but I don't think people are going to fill it in. I think they just want to put name, phone number, email.
Yeah.
So that's your form created. Now you're wondering, like, how the heck do I make all this work? So the send button over here, that gives us a link and an embed code. Now, I would normally say go straight to the embed code, and that's what we're going to put on the Keller Williams site. But the problem with that is it doesn't work perfectly. It works, but it doesn't sort of resize it very well for mobile. So we're going to show you a shortcut to fix that. But we just need to get this link and copy it. So we've got that stored on our clipboard. We're then going to paste the link to the form, and we're going to fill it in. So, there was one other setting that I need to... actually, it's working, so it's fine. I'll tell you about that setting afterwards. So, first name, we'll call it Roger Rabbit. That's 2 B's, otherwise it'd be Rabbit.
Which starts to get a little too...
Roger Rabbit at AOL.com. So he's going to get loads of emails. Okay, then we're going to put a phone number in. 321-800. Some numbers. Click submit. That just gets us a batch of data for Zapier to utilize.
So now it knows where to pull from.
Yeah. All right, looks like we're good to go with that. That's the form done. Oh, I want to give it a name up here. Oh, it's popped in now. Welcome to our open house. Great. Needs a name. So next we are going to go to Zapier.
Zapier or Zapier?
Zapier.
But they're called Zaps.
They're called Zapes. So, is it Zapier? Is it Zapier? I don't know.
I always want to call it Zapier because it's like Napier, which was the last name of the Joker in Batman.
But it's Naples, not Naples. Mm-hmm. So it would have to have 2 P's to be Zapier and 1 P to be Zapier. But it's still a Zap.
I know.
So because
strange.
So it's going to kill us, isn't it? Yep. So you go to Zapier.com, sign up for an account using your Keller Williams Gmail account. Makes things a lot simpler. Click on Create a New Zap. And then what we're doing is we're going to tell it where the Zap is coming from, the data. So the first piece of data is coming from Google Forms. That's the form that we created for the open house.
Yep.
Click on Google Forms. What event will it be? Well, it's someone filling out the form, a new response. So then you click Continue. Then it's going to say, what is your Google Forms account? So you sign in. Mine's already connected, but you can sign in just there and select the form account. And
you have to make sure that it is the same email that you created the form in. Otherwise, it's not going to know to pull it from
exactly. And then your list of forms are going to be there. Welcome to our open house is what we called the form. So we're going to select it. I do click refresh fields at this point just to pull in that data. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to find Mr. Rabbit that we put in earlier on. So then click continue and it's testing it. And the form was found. And
nice.
We've got
and
Mr.
Roger Rabbit.
Phone number, name, etc. is there. So then continue. Now, where do we want to send this information that we've grabbed from Google Forms? We want to send it to KW Command.
Yep. So this is the way Zapier works. And what we're doing here is where is the information coming from? That was the Google form. And where is that information in that form going to? And that's where we're going to tell it KW Command And then we're going to set up the fields here.
Yeah. So the first thing is, what event do we want to do? Well, we want to create a contact. So click continue. Then it's going to ask you to sign into your command account. You just use your command username and password. It has like a separate sign-in form, but it is secure and it's definitely authorized by Keller Williams.
The only reason yours isn't showing is because you're already logged in.
I'm already signed in. Yeah. Okay, then it'll say which account do you want to use. You'll only have one option unless you're on a team.
Yeah, I believe I'm going to test this, and I'll put it in the comments below. If you are on a team, it will probably give you your personal account as an option and your team. So again, I'll test that and let you know.
Yep. Then we're going to mark it as a lead. No, we've decided the source is going to be from an agent. So it's an agent lead, an agent-generated lead. Then we need the first name. Now, to get that, you go to Show All Options and look for the first name, which is Roger here, which is the tab on the form. Please enter your first name. So connect that. It appears up there. Last name, same principle, but this time we're looking for Mr. Rabbit. So he's in there. Then the email address, same thing. Look for the email address, which is down here. And then last but one before we do the tag is going to be the phone number. And again, enter your phone number. Oh, put it in twice. You only need to click it once. And then down here, we're going to have tag. Everything else is left blank. And the tag's going to be open house. And then we're good to go. Click continue.
Awesome.
It's going to tell you what information it's sending to command. We're going to test the action, and it should create a contact.
And it did.
It did.
Look at that.
So click publish.
So it says a contact was sent to Keller Williams command.
A few seconds ago. Right, so we're going to click publish, then we'll go into command and see if it's there. Publish and turn on. That's like 1960s hippie phrase, isn't it?
Hey, man. Publish and turn me on, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Go to Zaps. Right, we're all good on the Zapier front. Right, so we were sharing the right screen. We're now going to go over to command and share this tab. And we're going to go to contacts and have a look and see if we can find Mr. Rabbit. Let's have a look at all contacts. And there's Mr. Rabbit.
There's Mr. Rabbit.
With his tag.
Look at that. How cool is that? And pretty easy. I mean, it really is.
Right. So the next thing is, how do we put this on your website? So this is a little more complex, but nevertheless quite within our capability. And I think anybody can do it. So we're going to get our link, which first of all, we go to our open house form.
Share that tab, yeah.
So the link is up here where you click send. That's the link. I'm going to copy it. And then we're going to go to a iframe generator, which I will tell you which one it is. It's HTML code generator -tools.com. It's this link. Maybe we can put this in the description.
Absolutely. We'll put this in the description of the video, and we'll also add it to the resources on the Facebook page.
So the reason I like this one is because this not only puts the form on the Keller Williams site, it does it in a way that's responsive for cell phone use.
That's awesome.
It resizes the form. It makes it central on the page. Yeah. It really does a good job of doing it. Very simple to put together. You just paste the link, the iframe URL that we got from the form, paste that in there. Don't have to worry about height and width or any of that because it's in a scrollable form.
Cool. And I love that it gives you the preview.
Yeah, and then you click generate responsive form. That's the one we want. Then down below here, if we keep going down, is the actual code that we're going to use to create the page. So we're going to copy this code. This is all free, by the way. We always find free solutions. So we've copied the code. Then we're going to go back to command.
And if you're already lost, it's totally understandable. Not everybody's a nerd like Peter and I. However, your Market Center Tech Trainer should be able to do this and help you with it. Or you can reach out to Peter or myself. Your Market Center Tech Trainer could reach out to us as well, and we'd be happy to walk them through this so that they can do this for you.
Yeah. So we did say it's a little tricky, but it kind of, It's simple. It's just as 3 steps. You've got to create the form, which we did in the forms.google.com. Put the first and last name in there, email, phone number. Once we've got the form, we have a link.
Yep.
We then go over to Zapier, create that free connection between the two, and just match up the fields of the form. So we're matching up the first name, the last name, the email, and the phone number. So it transfers into command. And we also have the opportunity to add that tag.
Right.
So that
Which is key, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if we're going to do a smart plan with a tag start, then we need that tag.
Yep.
But the next bit is we need to put it on a website, and the best website to put it on is your KW agent site. So to do that, you go onto the consumer app. If you're not familiar with the icons, you just click the red button here, and it'll say which app's which. That's the consumer app. Then over on the right here, create a new page. Now, I do it on the website.
Yeah,
on the agent site.
this one we want to do it on the agent site for sure.
So click create page. Then this is where the magic happens. So we're going to give the page a name. So it's open house sign in. Then we've got a couple of things we can put on here. Agent profile would be my preference. So we'll drop that in there. So it's got your information, your logo, which is transparent, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks good.
That's my team logo that's got there. Got the information. And then we just need to put a text box in so we can put the form for the open house sign-in into the page. To do that, you click on widgets and go to content blocks and then text box. And you drag that, drop it over there. So it's widgets, content blocks, text, drag. That then gives you a place to put the code that we copied earlier from the iframe generator. Paste the code. And don't mess with it. Just click Save Changes.
Yes, definitely don't mess with it.
Yeah. So once that's done, it's going to take you to where do you want to place that on your page? So on your website menu. So we're going to click on Add Page. It'll say Open House Sign In, the form we just created. Then it's going to give you the name of the page, which is Open House Sign In. Open House Sign In. Then the slug, this is for search engine friendliness. It's kind of not vital, but
the slug is what comes after. So if it's agent.com / this would be the slug.
Yeah.
So the slug is what comes after that.
It just looks nice and professional if it has that. SEO we don't really have to worry about because we're not trying to drive people to it, but we can just call it Open House Sign In Form. All right, click Save. Then it allows us to position that form for convenience by dragging it and putting it up at the top of our menu.
That's awesome.
So we're going to drag that up there. And then we're all set. So we could click on Consumer again. The link to your website, I call mine homesforsaleflorida.kw.com. That would be your name or whatever you want to call your website. Take you to the main page. Then the menu is here, an open house sign in. There it is. And there is the form.
Look at that. So really, I mean, it's not that complicated. Even the editor in Zapier was very easy to use. You choose where it's coming from, where it's going to, and then match up the fields, give it the tag, right? And then we went into the consumer application, built the page in there. Well, in between there, you went to what was that editor? It was an iframe editor, right? And that was just copy and paste the link to the form. That's all you had to do. And then it spit out everything else you needed. So then you copy that code and we put that in the text field of the page that we built in Command Consumer Applet.
Yeah. So this is the open house form. I just switched the page on the transmittal, but this is where you get to it.
I understand not every agent's even going to mess with this though, right? Because we don't want to advocate for that either. If you're on a budget though, it is simple enough to do on your own. But you have a market center tech trainer, a regional tech trainer, Peter and myself, whoever, you've got somebody that you can reach out to that can help you with that. But we're never advocates for you getting out of your top 20% anyway. So if that's something you don't want to even mess with, then by all means, you can find somebody that can actually set it up and do it for you. Yeah.
So it's quite long. Just to tell you what we've told you is we created a form in Google Forms called Open House Attendee Form. We had the fields that we wanted to collect, which was name, email, phone number, separating the first and last name. We then created a Zapier, which is a connection between Command and Google Forms, by matching up those fields. It's a bit like doing a data import. You've got to match the fields.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then finally, we added it to the website by using the responsive iframe generator, which the link will be down below in the description. Every part of that is free.
Yeah.
So it's free.
Yeah.
I mean, it's effort. It takes a little time, but it's completely free. Now, once it's done, you can use it at every single open house that you ever have for the rest of your career. It's going to be there, ready to go.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty cool.
And we love free. We never advocate. Advocate is when you are the person that's an advocate, right? Yes. Advocate is the verb. Mm-hmm. We never advocate for agents spending money that they don't need to. So like Peter said, everything you saw is free. If you're using your kw.com email, and I do believe Forms is free, even if it's a regular Gmail, right? A free Gmail. I think Forms is free in that. But we tell you to use your kw.com email if at all possible, because you get unlimited storage with Google Drive, and you get all of the Google Workspace. It used to be called Google Apps for Business. Now it's called Google Workspace. But you get all of that included in that kw.com email. So you can do the form there, and then the version of what we're doing in Zapier is free. Because it's, what'd you say, Peter, 5 forms and up to 100 tasks a month, right?
Yes, yes. You can have 100 open house attendees, which would all be delighted if that happened.
Yeah, yeah, we would. Yeah. But that would probably be about, I don't know, what, 20 open houses? More than that, probably.
I don't know. I mean, the number of people who sign in might be 5 to 10 at each open house. You probably get 10 open houses out of it.
It varies in different markets, but I think most of the agents in our area specifically, we're lucky if we see 10 in an open house.
Oh yeah, yeah. But it's worth doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, so that wraps it up for this
week. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Great job, Peter. Thanks for driving.
Thanks for editing the driving.
Yeah, absolutely. It's getting to be old habit for you. You're getting awesome at it. So.
We'll find out when you watch the play.
See how much editing I have. All right. Well, we certainly appreciate you tuning in to MCTTs Unleashed. We are always here to help you. We want to make sure that you're engaged with your market center, with your market center tech trainer, because they are there to help you with things just like this. And if you're not, Peter and I will get you pointed in the right direction so that you can get engaged with your market center tech trainer or your regional tech trainer, and certainly get engaged in your office. We talk about culture every episode, and that culture is alive and vibrant when you're in the office. So get engaged as much as you can, and we will catch you on the next episode. We didn't point out that this is episode 15. So that's pretty cool for us. Hopefully it's cool for you, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.